Welcome to the Waypoint, a short monthly dose of outdoor and adventure travel industry news and analysis from industry thought leaders who give us their real-time insights regarding trends impacting your business as the year progresses. Get your outdoor waypoints on the first Wednesday of each month and your adventure travel waypoints on the second Wednesday of each month. In this episode of Waypoint, we're talking about the adventure travel biz with Shannon Stoll from the Adventure Travel Trade Association, Ches Chesick from Track and Trails, and Tim McGuire from Eagle Creek. Our first guest is Shannon Stoll from the Adventure Travel Trade Association. Hey, Shannon, welcome to the actual second episode of the Waypoint by the Outdoor Biz podcast. This one's more focused on adventure travel. Last Wednesday, we talked about the outdoor biz. How's it going today?
Great. Thanks, Rick. Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, good to chat with you again. Sorry, I'm stumbling this morning. So,
yeah, no worries.
How's 2017 going to go down in the books for adventure travel? Was it a good year overall?
Yeah, it really was. You know, we survey our members, our tour operator members primarily throughout the year, and found that the majority were forecasting much higher profits in 2017 over 16. And most of them credited customer growth, basically growing their customer base. So I think this bodes well for the business, both for, how it closes out this last year and then how things progress into 2018.
That's great. And you talk to, hundreds or thousands of tour operators, right? You guys have access to a bunch of them.
Yeah, our members, we have about, I think, close to 800 tour operators that are members of the ATTA, but we talk to a much broader community of tour operators that are on the fringes of the actual membership, but are still part of the community.
Cool. And what were a couple things that people were surprised about, or that you guys might have been surprised about in 2017? Positive or negative?
Yeah, I would say one of the things that surprised me a little bit is for the last couple of years, we've been hearing more and more about over-tourism, and there have been some real hot spots like Barcelona and Venice, closer to home, places like Cancun that tend to get fairly overrun. But I guess the surprise for me was that there are actually even some adventure travel spots that are starting to show some signs of over-tourism.
Interesting.
And so, places like the Troll's Tongue in Norway have become so popular. And having a lot of good tourists when managed well is a good thing.
Right.
When it becomes unmanageable or overrun in some cases, then it starts to lose the shine. And adventure travel has always prided itself on being sustainable, responsible, focused on protecting nature and culture. So I think we need to take over tourism really seriously. And in those spots where it's starting to crack at the seams, then, it's time for the government and businesses to really take responsibility there.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was talking to Soraya Shattuck the other day from the Adventure Travel Conservation Fund, and we were talking about that. And that, in my mind, that really steps up our responsibility to educate not only the consumers and the travelers, but you guys do a great job educating the tour operators, but we need to keep that going so that they make sure and reduce their impact on all these places.
Yeah, well, thanks, Rick. I think that the good message out of this problem is that adventure travel continues to rise in popularity, and that is important. And I do believe that overall it is one of the best forms of travel because of the ethos that comes along with it. But that doesn't mean we can't get better at managing it. Right.
And what are people saying about 2018? How's that looking?
2018 looks strong. There's some general industry trends are that fuel prices are expected to rise, which affects how much travel costs.
Right.
But as far as the adventure business, a lot of help in the space. A lot of companies innovating with new ideas, new concepts. And we got a little more refined this last year in looking at the definition of adventure travel. It's funny. It used to be either something was adventure travel or it wasn't. And that was too basic of a definition.
Yeah.
Then we started talking about hard adventure and soft adventure. And that is not really a satisfying way to divide and identify either. And so we went into the process of building the definition that we have been using for the last decade, which is the three prongs of nature, culture, and adventure. And physical activity. And when those three things come together, then that's adventure travel.
Interesting.
But this last year, we got more refined in our understanding of motivations. We compared research from 10 years ago with new work, and we found that there are other factors that are really important to be paying attention to. So the novel and the unique. People are looking for a challenge. Maybe not too much challenge in many cases, but challenge.
Right.
Wellness. People are looking to be or experience transformational things, and they're thinking about their impact. So I would say that one of the best things for us as the association is that we're getting a more and more clear view on how the travelers view adventure travel and the important aspects of it.
Right. That's interesting. Do you survey the operators or do you survey the travelers? How do you get that information?
We do both.
Okay.
Yeah, we work with both. And in the consumer case, we work with a university researcher who has actually been working on this question off and on for the last 13 years.
Oh, wow. There's some great data there then.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. And what are you most excited about for 2018? You personally or you, the ATTA?
Yeah, I'm excited because I feel like there continues to be movement towards better tourism through adventure tourism.
Mm-hmm.
So our community really rallied in 2016 and launched the Adventure Travel Conservation Fund, for example, which is
right.
We consider ourselves the little brother to the Conservation Alliance. We're learning from them.
Right.
And they've been super supportive of us in this process, which has been incredible. So this year in 2017, we got to go to the next step and fund 3 projects.
Right.
And so we're really excited about that our industry has come together. We have nearly 100 members now.
Awesome.
In the Conservation Fund, and we've got 3 projects on the books for funding, and excited about that.
Yeah, that's terrific.
I would say one of the other things that I'm really thrilled about, Rick, is that we stumbled across somebody doing some really interesting research in Jordan this last year, where we did an event, and we ran across a gentleman who he and his team had been doing some economic study of adventure travel versus regular travel versus other industries, what sort of economic impact that had in Jordan. And their results showed that the economic impact of adventure travelers is 6 times the amount of a mass traveler.
Really?
Of somebody who's just coming to stay in an inclusive resort, for example.
Wow.
And so what that translates to, and this is very specifically Jordan, because that's where the data is springing from.
Right.
You know, what we found was that the Jordan Trail, which is a new initiative there, they're able to make some pretty strong forecasts on how many people will be coming and using it, what the spend will be. And the economists studying it expect it to generate about $7.5 million per year in revenue.
That's awesome.
With 65% staying in the economy. Now, this may not sound like a lot of revenue when we look at the news and listen to how much Jeff Bezos is worth or
well,
XYZ.
for a country like Jordan, though, that's got to be pretty significant.
Well, yeah, exactly. If you look at the average income of a Jordanian, it's about $650 a year.
Wow.
And a lot of the people who live in the nether regions are below that average. So this is actually really significant.
Yeah.
This means that that's about 7,400 people who are getting, the equivalent of 7,400 average salaries based on a fairly low number of tourists.
Right.
So all that to say, we're getting hard data to show that adventure travelers are lower in number, but much, much higher in value. Mm-hmm, and I think once governments understand this, once people get a real handle on that, then development can be more focused on this, what I think is a highly more sustainable form of tourism.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's great data, too, because I think that kind of lines up with what's going on here in the U.S. and the public lands battle and the fact that all these gateway communities to Bears Ears and to Yosemite and to Zion and all these places are thriving because of the tourists that come in there and spend the night and buy a meal and do all these things. So that kind of goes in line with that. So to be able to communicate that around the world is awesome. Great job.
Absolutely. And, you compare that to I'll pick on the opposite end of the scale, which would be cruise tourism,
right?
Where very, very little of the money stays in the local destination and very few high-paying jobs or even moderate-paying jobs are generated for locals.
Right.
And the environment is not a priority.
Right.
So I think that there is a really strong case to talk more and more on the public stage about adventure tourism as a tool for development and protection.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's terrific, Shannon. So keep up that great work. How'd you guys find, you found this person through holding the event there, or how'd that all come about?
Yeah, we were there on a scouting mission for the event that we were putting on, and we were meeting with a lot of different stakeholders, and this was a nonprofit company that is contracted by USAID to work on economic development in Jordan.
Oh, cool.
And we ran across this guy in a meeting, and he revealed some of this data to us, and I was just absolutely riveted. And so the first thing I said is, you are speaking at our summit in Argentina.
Right.
You have to. And he did. He came, and it was a total hit.
Awesome. That's great.
People were blown away by it.
That's great. Well, thanks for the update on 17 and the forecast for 2018. Sounds exciting. Keep up the great work. Let us know if we can help.
Thanks so much, Rick.
All right. Thanks, Shannon. Bye-bye. Next up is Ches Chesick from Track and Trails. Hey, Ches, welcome to the inaugural episode of Waypoint. Waypoint is an episode that I do once a week this year in 2018. One focuses on outdoor. This one will focus on adventure travel, which is your expertise. I want to get your overall analysis on the adventure travel biz for 2017. Will that go down as a good year, you think?
Sure, yeah. It just the adventure travel industry just really continues to grow, and the vast majority of tour operators I've talked to have certainly been up, if not modestly, solidly up for 2017. I know Track and Trails were up pretty substantially, so we're obviously psyched about that.
Yeah, that's great.
It just, the consumer just continues to move towards more and more active vacations.
Right.
For by and large, I would say the so-called fly and flop is dead. Where you fly someplace, you just flop on the beach. No one's really doing much of that anymore. I'd say.
Excellent. And so that was obviously one of the trends that you saw develop in 17, or has that been coming for a while? It seems like that's been coming for a while. It just keeps getting stronger and stronger.
It keeps getting stronger. Absolutely. Yeah.
Anything new you saw pop up in 17 along the way of trends or things people are doing?
Maybe a little bit disconcerting. Just seeing a few industry stalwarts, even some companies have been there for a long time, either merging, getting bought, or looking to be acquired. So I think as the general travel industry trend goes to more and more active, it's going to push out some of those smaller guys. When your Carnival Cruise Lines is advertising, adventure travel and things like that, that tells you something, and maybe it's a little bit dangerous for that little guy in Costa Rica who's been running zip lines forever when suddenly, Royal Caribbean is running them too.
Yeah, unless you can stay nimble. I think we've seen that in the outdoor industry where there's been this big conglomeration of brands and whatnot. Now there's a trend back to, these small, specialty guys or specialty retailers in particular are getting bought up by new ownership and going back to the heyday, right? Where they're doing really cool, unique things for the consumer that haven't been done in 10, 15 years. So nimbleness might be the key to success for those guys.
Nimble and certainly creativity. Finding your particular niche. I mean, that's one of the things I love about the Tracks and Trails product is I think it is so unique. There's just not a lot of other people out there doing it. And if you can do something like that, you can certainly stay ahead of the curve.
Right.
Or at least be first in and be able to work with some of those bigger players once they do rear their heads.
Right. Anything else come up in 17 that's new, unique, different, or maybe gaining strength, traction?
Certainly talk about consolidation. I mean, I do see the continued rise of the travel agent, which is fantastic and fun. Yeah. I think we've talked about this before, but the agent with the advent of the internet was one of the jobs that people said was going to go away.
Right.
And for a little while there, it seemed like it would, but now they just keep coming back stronger and stronger. And they're just such a great resource for any traveler.
Yeah.
You know, as you develop a relationship with an agent, they really become your travel advisor. They get to know who you are, what you want, how you fly, how you travel, the activities you're looking for, how your family members contribute to this equation, and then find, different adventures and activities and things that are perfect for you guys.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great opportunity for people, like we talked about on your previous episode. Yeah,
absolutely.
And so, what are you most excited about? The snow show and the OR show moving to Denver and blending. Is that gonna create opportunity for adventure travel folks, or is that going to be just more of the same?
I'm pretty torn on this. Well, I'm torn and I'm not. I mean, the thing about continuously going to Salt Lake City every year was that, we had longevity there. We had history there.
Right.
Everybody complained about the quirks, but secretly I think everybody kind of loved them. We all commiserated around the quirks. We all had our funny stories about having to slam a beer before we got the next one or something like that.
Yeah.
And there's tremendous value in us being able to walk around and say, oh yeah, that Holiday Express used to be the Shiloh, used to be the whatever. I stayed there once. I was there, and the flagpole got hit by lightning, and blah blah blah. We knew intimately well.
A lot of stories.
Square blocks of downtown Salt Lake, and full of stories.
Yeah.
And so to lose that, I'm certainly sad.
Uh-huh.
So on a personal level, I'm a little bit bummed, honestly. I mean, Denver's great.
Yeah.
Denver's fantastic. I love the Front Range. It's fantastic. Obviously, tons of fantastic outdoor and adventure brands in Colorado. So, hey, good for them.
Right.
On a personal level, though, because we've lost that history, we've lost that connectivity, I'm a little bummed there.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. It's a change. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's just on the personal level. Far more importantly, what I'm extremely excited about, though, is the stand that this industry took. And kudos to OIA and everybody else who got behind that and just said, no, this is not going to fly.
Yeah.
We're not going to go to a place and drop that kind of money that the OR show dropped if they're not actively supporting public lands.
Right.
And if they're doing things that are actually detrimental to them, no reason to be there.
Exactly.
Utah. Utah's beautiful. Utah's got a lot of great things going for it. But their administration can't get behind. You can't even understand the resource that they have there.
Yeah.
In the way that it can contribute locally to the local and state economy.
Oh, it could be huge. I mean, it is huge. It could be bigger. Yeah, right.
It's huge. And if somebody else gets it, if Colorado gets it, great.
Boom.
Let's go.
Yeah, good for them. Right. Yeah. Yeah, cool. And what are your thoughts on the shows merging? I mean, it's interesting. I think it's a great thing personally because it, just for some logistical reasons for everybody, you don't have to do two shows. It saves money on two booths, that kind of thing. But it seems like to me, it's going to create some opportunity for businesses now to, you got everybody all in one space as opposed to having to go before. What are your thoughts on that?
It just makes sense. It makes sense for everybody. Like you're saying, particularly for smaller brands or smaller retailers to just be able to do one show.
Right.
I think that's great. I think there'll be some new synergies, some unexpected ones that come out of bringing the shows together.
Mm-hmm.
On a personal level, again, I'm not as psyched. It's just going to be a bigger show. I think I like
more ground to cover in 4 days.
More ground to cover. I think personally, I like a little bit more the intimacy, the familiarity that we had at Outdoor Retailer.
Yeah.
Snow Show was just a little bit more of just like a show.
Yeah.
No offense to them, but on a personal level, I'm not as jazzed, but also I just understand that just makes great sense for everybody to do that.
Cool. And you'll be there meeting with vendors and suppliers?
I'm probably not gonna be there until summer. I've got another travel show that conflicts with the winter show, unfortunately.
Gotcha.
But I'm certainly looking forward to summer. And now that the company I work for is based in Grand Junction, it'll be nice to fly into the Front Range, do a show, and then do a little hop over the mountains and go through the home office.
Exactly. Cool. Awesome. Well, great, Ches. Thanks for spending time with us. I'm sorry we'll miss you at this inaugural Denver show, but we'll catch you in the summer.
I know. Absolutely. I'm bummed too, but looking forward to summer already.
Yeah, there you go. Cool. Looking ahead. Awesome. Well, thanks, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye. And wrapping up our Waypoint episode today is Tim McGuire from Eagle Creek. Hey, Tim, welcome to the first episode, the Waypoint episode for Adventure Travel. These are going to be new episodes I drop every month, first and second Wednesday of the month. First Wednesday will be outdoor, second Wednesday is Adventure Travel, and you being the adventure travel guru that you are, you get to be on the first Waypoint Adventure Travel episode. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Rick. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, glad to have you on. So what is your overall analysis of 2017 for the adventure travel biz? Will it go down as a good year for everyone?
Well, for Eagle Creek, for sure.
Cool.
We've been monitoring it from an industry standpoint and what access we do have to data from around the U.S. and around the world. Mm-hmm. Definitely another strong year for travel.
Yeah.
It's just, the reality is it's got so accessible. People today, it's so easy to pick up your phone, click on an app, find your airline,
exactly.
Whatever your app is that you want to access,
right.
Various airlines or hotels and stuff. It's simple and it's affordable.
Yeah.
Especially, over these days, the dollar's been was strong all year in Europe. And, while we saw a little bit of slowdown on tourism coming into the U.S., more than made up for it on the overall travel side. And
cool.
And within that, it's a little bit hard to break down what is true adventure travel or just, somebody getting out of their comfort zone and going and exploring something new and different. But
right.
Definitely everything we see points to sustained long-term growth for, active outdoor casual travel.
Perfect. Cool.
Primarily driven by millennials, right?
Right.
We've seen those statistics.
Us old guys are getting out too, though.
A little bit.
Yeah. What are a couple of specific things that happened to maybe some of your key partners?
From a account standpoint?
Yeah, accounts or some of the nonprofits you guys work with related to adventure travel. Did they have any? I know the Adventure Travel Conservation Fund launched in 2017. That's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, it is a cool thing. We were excited to be part of that initial grant and been actively involved in it. Just saw the results. I don't know if you'll be sharing that. But yeah, a couple of local nonprofits that we specifically work with received some grants in this initial funding. So
yeah, great.
Super exciting there. Continue to work with Adventure Travel Trade Association. As well.
Great. Awesome. And what are you most excited about the show moving to Denver?
I think it's just a fresh start. New city, new venue. Definitely Denver, great outdoor town. Yeah. And I know folks that are traveling from Eagle Creek are planning either on the front side or the back side to get up into the mountains for a few days.
Oh, cool.
But we're curious to see. Right now we're kind of going to play it by ear. There's 3 shows scheduled there in 18.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that.
We'll probably be at all 3 this next year, but try to figure out what makes the most sense going forward.
Evaluate moving forward. Yeah, cool. Well, awesome. I appreciate the time, Tim.
All right, Rick. Appreciate it.
All right. See you. Thanks.
All right. Bye.
If you want more of The Waypoint, you can subscribe on iTunes and Stitcher or go to the outdoorbizpodcast.com where you find all the episodes, show notes, and much, much more. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at the Outdoor Biz Podcast, Twitter at Rick_Saez, that's S-A-E-Z, and by email at rick@theoutdoorbizpodcast.com. Thanks for listening and all the support. A huge shout out to all my guests, and until next time, make time to get outside.